The 1950s were a time of comfort, change and quiet hope in America. Families were settling into new homes, soldiers had returned from war, and communities were growing in ways that felt both familiar and new. Across the country, neighborhoods blossomed, streets lined with tidy houses, each with a front porch and a freshly mowed lawn. Children played outside until dusk, their laughter echoing through quiet streets. Mothers prepared meals in kitchens filled with the scent of fresh bread, while fathers returned home from work hanging their hats by the door. Do you remember the sound of a baseball game on the radio? Or the sight of a black and white television flickering in the living room? Television was new, and families gathered around it as if it were a glowing hearth. Programs like I Love Lucy and The Ed Sullivan Show brought laughter and music into living rooms. Radio still played the songs of Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, and Elvis Presley, whose voice carried the energy of a new generation. Cars became symbols of pride. Shiny Chevrolets and Fords lined the streets, their chrome gleaming in the sunlight. Drive-in theaters appeared across the country, where families and young couples watched movies under the stars. Can you picture the excitement of pulling into a drive-in, the smell of popcorn in the air, the screen towering above the cars? The decade carried hope. Soldiers had returned from war, and new suburbs grew across the land. Schools filled with children, and communities thrived. Yet beneath the calm, America was changing. Technology was advancing, culture was shifting, and dreams were expanding. Families gathered around dinner tables, sharing stories of the day. Children spoke of school, fathers of work, mothers of neighbors and friends. The clinking of dishes, the warmth of conversation, the comfort of routine, all part of the rhythm of life. Do you recall the taste of a home-cooked meal from that time, or the joy of sitting together as a family? Music filled the air. Jukeboxes played in diners, teenagers danced to rock and roll, and ballads carried through radios late at night. Songs became memories, tied to moments of love, friendship, and youth. The 1950s were also a time of invention. Televisions, washing machines, and new appliances made life easier. Air travel became more common, and highways stretched across the land. America was moving forward, yet holding on to traditions that gave comfort. And through it all, there was a sense of community. Neighbors knew one another, children walked to school together, families gathered for church, for picnics, for celebrations. The 1950s were more than a decade. They were a chapter in the story of America, a chapter filled with comfort, change, and dreams. And as you listen, let those memories settle in. The night grows quiet, the story continues, mile after mile, year after year, carrying history, carrying dreams, carrying you gently toward rest.